I think it's already recording. It is. How do we start?
You have to be the bravest person in the world to go out every day being yourself when no one likes who you are. I put this quote because people that are diagnosed with autism they can't really go out in public without being judged because they do a lot of things that they can't control. My name is Ernesto Hidalgo, and this is my presentation. The reason why I chose communication devices for children diagnosed with nonverbal autism is because of my 9-year-old brother, Eddie.
Yeah, we're good.
Alright, sorry. That's him right there with his younger sister, Elisa. And yeah, he can feed himself, but she's just helping him out because she knows that he's what she calls different from them because she has a twin brother too. Another reason why I chose this topic is because I thought it was a great topic and not a lot of people know about autism, and I thought it was interesting. Some children with autism need more attention from parents and teachers along with improved technology to themselves in order to be successfully independent in life. I put this quote because technology will help them communicate with anyone, their parents, their teachers. And just yesterday, my teacher called my house and answered the phone. I thought I was going to have to go pick him up from school because my mom wasn't home. And she said, don't worry, it's not an emergency, that my brother's showing improvement in school because he wanted to use the iPad that they had, but another kid had it, and they give him these cards that are a book with pictures in it, and he flipped through the book and he went to the page that said I want iPad, and he took it to the teacher, and she was like so surprised because he never used the book ever, and after 8 years of going to school, he's finally showing like more improvement, and I thought that was pretty cool. They were all proud of him. Some questions I had were, what kind of options do they have in order to communicate with others? What is ASD, and what is a savant? In my research, I found that options that they have are letterboards, which is a keyboard that they can use that talks for them after they finish typing out the sentence that they, like what they want or how they feel. Another option was speech devices, such as a Dynavox right there. That's called a Dynavox. They can also use iPads. They have applications, but they're really, really expensive. And picture cards, which is what my brother uses. But I'm hoping that eventually he'll be able to use a Dynavox. Not all cases of autism are nonverbal. I found in my research that there's a case called savant, and it's the amazing ability of brilliance and talent of memorization, special skills, or calendar calculating. Right here, it's a picture of Stephen Wilshire, and he took a 20-minute plane ride over New York, and on his way back, he thought it was beautiful, so he came back and drew an 18-foot on an 18-foot canvas of what he memorized. He didn't take any pictures or anything, he just memorized it. And pause the time. I'm going to show you a clip from what autism savant is, but it didn't really This is from a movie called Rain Man.
What am I supposed to do? You got it?
How do you turn the volume? Okay.
Be something that I can do here.
Well, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I do know that his brain...
Right here, he finds out that his brother, he thinks his brother is, he calls him a retard, and he goes to the doctor to find out what's wrong with him.
doesn't work like other people. And what he does isn't intended to be annoying. If he's getting on your nerves, you just take a break. Spend some time away from him. Sure, I'll just send him back. Sorry?
No, it's just inside jokes. You tell me I just have to deal with this stuff. Is that it? I just got to deal with this stuff.
Yeah, that's about it. Out of curiosity, does he have any special abilities?
I mean, he's got a pretty good memory. He counts toothpicks.
Huh?
Toothpicks. He spilled a box of toothpicks on the floor, and he took one look at them and knew exactly how many there were, and he counted them in seconds.
Huh. Ray. Raymond.
Yeah?
Are you good with numbers?
Yeah.
I read about this. We'll try something here.
K1400 Oak Street.
What did I tell you after this? After this.
Ray, can we try something?
Yeah.
Do you know how much 312 times 123 is?
38376.
He's right.
Is she here?
What? He's right.
He's right.
Yeah. Ray, how much is 4,343 times 1,234?
5359262.
He's a genius.
Right.
He's a genius.
Ray, do you know how much the square root of 2,130 is?
46.15192304. 2304.
That's amazing. I mean, that is amazing. He should work for NASA or something like that.
In my research, I also found out that ASD stands for Autism Spectrum Disorder, and they focus on social interaction, communication, and behaviors and interests. With this, they can find out what kind of autism they have. That's why it's called spectrum. And they can have autism, Asperger's, child disintegrative disorder, Rett's disorder, or persuasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, which is pretty much other or etc. My mentor, Teresa Gonzalez, she works at Ernie Elementary, and she's a special ed teacher there. That's her next to me right there. And I used to go there, that's how I know her. She's also a family friend of my aunt, and she was an old colleague. Okay. For my fieldwork, I volunteered with Miss Gonzalez at Ernie Elementary on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the days that I don't work during the weekdays, for a total of 28 hours and 50 minutes. There, I taught the students math, reading, physical education, like how they interact with each other, because they can get pretty violent. And I quizzed the students on the books that they read. One of the memorable moments of being there was Mia. That's her right there, and she's pretty cool. She doesn't listen to the teacher at all, but when I went there, she came up to me and she introduced herself and she sat me down, and she kept like holding my arm and so that I wouldn't leave. And she's pretty cool. Like at first I was worried because I heard about the rumors about her, like how she doesn't listen and how she will kick and punch you and all that stuff. Good thing I never had it. I went through that. I didn't go through that. And yeah, we eventually became friends, and she told me a lot of stories. I don't know, it's pretty cool. The way my fieldwork connects with my paper is they both deal with autism, kids, and technology. That's how I got my topic. Some of the struggles that I had and obstacles that I went through was finding a mentor, managing my time, and finding some sources that are up to date. Some of the solutions that I did for finding my mentor was, instead of asking or like thinking of like going on my own and finding a mentor, I asked my family if they knew anyone that can help me. Also, to solve the time problem, I asked my boss to talk to my mentor so that they can work out a schedule for me. And some of the sources, instead of going to the library, which is outdated here, I asked my family, because most of them work in the medical field, I asked them if they have any books on autism, and I eventually found some books. At first I was a pushover when I entered the class because I didn't know anyone, and like there's pretty strong kids in there. I also felt bad, like I didn't want to like manhandle them or anything because they're so little. They were second and third graders, by the way. And after I was there for a while, I understood what kind of like how they work and their ways of learning, and I worked with that. For my future, I want to go to I want to find an apartment so that I can be on my own. I have some money saved up from my job. I want to go to Rio Hondo to major in computer science and probably work for Intel or Microsoft, and then I want to transfer to a Cal State and eventually work for the County of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Eight.